Hey there and welcome to Consult the Blind Guy. My name is Andrew and in today's episode we're doing a product review of third-hand extension poles. Hope you enjoy today's episode. Let's get to it. Hey there, as I said, welcome to the show. Today we're talking about the third-hand extension poles. As many of you know, within the community, I have been upgrading gear over the past year. One of them was getting the new lights like what you could see over my shoulder and what is illuminating me right now. Those are mounted on the third-hand extension poles. Originally, when I got my new Govi lights, I had screwed them into the wall directly and into the ceiling. Didn't like that so much because you don't have as much control over the ability to tilt them easily, rotate them, and in general, just putting holes within the wall and in the ceiling. It was suggested to me by one of the community members, Kevin, to get extension rods, and that is what he used for his studio. So I did a quick little search and found the third-hand extension rods, and they come in various different sizes. The ones that I have are capable of reaching up to 15 feet, and they can be used from wall to wall or from floor to ceiling. The nice part is that they come with two styles of feet, either the slightly longer tubed feet or they have short ones. It entirely depends on your personal preference on which ones you want to use. Myself, I chose to go with the longer of the female portion of the feet. That way that I knew they were going to be a little bit more secure compared to the shallow one. That was just my theory. From what I've experienced, it doesn't matter whether you use the shallow or the deeper set of feet. They're going to be secure no matter what. However, the shallow ones are a little bit easier to knock off if you're trying to do them one-handed on your own. We'll say, for instance, like when I set them up, I put on one of the shallow feet and then I had to reach over, put the other one on. Well, when you're doing things alone, it's a little bit harder to get them on, so I set the one that was already installed on the floor and went to put the second one on. When I did that, it knocked off the other end. So then I had to shorten the pole to be able to make sure both of them were on. And then trying to get them to line up straight on both sides was a little bit of a difficulty as well. Whereas with the deeper female ends for the feet, it was a lot easier to attach and then secure the other end as well. The difference with the deeper female ends for those feet is they actually have an insert to be able to help secure them better compared to the shallow ones. Upside is they have two ways to extend them. One is to push in a little button like on crutches and then twist and pull to the desired length, and then they also have a hand operated extension rod on the inside that you can pump out to the desired length. The downfall is not only do you have the shallow feet that are a little bit more complicated to install alone, but you have those buttons for extending the rod itself. Those can be a pain in the butt to squeeze in and then try twisting and extending. Another thing is that some of the holes can actually be covered up by the hand grip. So you are going to have to twist the hand grip down if you want to use the holes that are hidden by it. The hand operated extension is nice, but if you have to go an extended period for where you need your length, it is going to be a bit of a pain to sit there and keep pumping and pumping and pumping every quarter to a half an inch with each pump. It does have a quick release button for you to be able to take it down, and I suggest that you use that to help extend that rod as far as possible before using the hand pump to extend it the rest of the way. Just note that if you're using it alone, the third hand can be a little bit awkward to do. For instance, setting up these ones for the studio lights was a little bit of a chore, because not only did I have to extend the main shaft of the poles first, then I had to extend the extra rod to get the rest of the distance, and trying to hold them up over your head and extend them gets tiring on the arms, and making sure that they're lined up level and not one side down over the other can be a little bit difficult. But overall, they are awesome pieces of equipment. I now have them stretched from one wall to the other up by my ceiling, and they are holding onto all of my studio lights. Of course, if you're going to use studio lights on poles like these, I highly recommend getting clamps that are specifically designed for attaching to pipes. You don't want to use ones that are intended for flat surfaces, because you do run the risk of them slipping or rotating on the poles. If I was to give these a rating between 1 and 5 stars, or 1 to 10, I would give them a 4 out of 5 or a 7 out of 10. Because though they are third hands, depending on the task that you want to use them for, they can be a little bit difficult to use solo. It would also be nice if the feet were able to secure a little bit better than what they do. They are fairly inexpensive. You get what you pay for, right? Now, I'm not saying that they're cheap, and I'm not saying they're expensive, because if you go for like a Manfrotto or a Very pole, those are going to be considerably more expensive compared to third hand. Myself, I think they suit their purpose and what they're being used for. Now, if you're somebody that's in the construction business, you might want a different brand, but that's up to you on your personal preference for the length you need, the features you want, and so on. The link is in the description below if you want to check these poles out. They are under $100, which is the main selling point for me compared to the Very pole or Manfrotto, which are over $100 and close to $200 or more, and that was the biggest selling factor. I did not want to have to spend over $100 for extension rods. And I didn't want just your standard shower extension rod, because you never know if they're actually going to stay secured and how much weight they can handle. The third hand is capable of up to 150-pound weight capacity. Now, no, I didn't need that much weight capacity for my gear, but I would rather know that they can hold some weight if I chose to, for instance, have another camera mounted from that pole besides just my lights. Or maybe if I wanted to have a boom arm for an XLR mic or something to that effect. I want to know that those poles are going to be able to withstand a few pounds of weight, not put my lights up there and have maybe 4 pounds, 5 pounds on it, and then watch it slowly start sliding down, or just decide to collapse and give out entirely. If you have any questions or comments, by all means, please feel free to drop them down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Let me know if you've considered getting extension poles like these for your studio setup or your project. I'd love to hear. Until the next time, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and we'll see you in the next episode. I hope you have a great day or evening. See you next time.